Alrighty, what is good, people? We are on a anime Vanguards video. This video we're going to be talking about a beginner guide and what you should be knowing when you first start and play this game. As you can see, I am level 102, so I do know a little bit about the game. As you can see, my units, the stats, the traits, the gems. You can just see triple ascended right here. We got Icarus. We got a shiny in here, no shiny, not to flex, but it is what it is. And I'm just gonna be teaching y'all what to do when you first get into the game, what you should be doing, and the first thing you should be grinding for, what units you should be summoning for, etc, etc. So let's get to it. So the first thing we're gonna be looking into is gems. Now, there are multiple ways to get gems in this game, and one of the best ways to get them as a free-to-play, as a noob, to get them is story. Now, if we go to story mode right here, we got 3 maps right now. This is before update 1. We're on update 0.5. It is the 18th of October right now. I'm expecting update to be in 2 days on Sunday. So depending on how that goes, we might get another story, might get more. Who's to say? But if we're talking about right now, we got multiple ways to get gems, and the best way to get them is your first try clears. You get a boost of gems if you do normal and hard on each act of each stage. And I think if you complete all of the acts normal and hard, you're gonna get around a guaranteed chance for pity for your first mythic, right? And if you just go with your starter units, which is Goku, Ichigo, and Luffy, if I'm being honest with you guys, those guys are they're not really anything. By the time you finish all the tutorial modes where you go talk to this guy, talk to them, talk to this and that, you're gonna get around a couple of gems to do a couple singles, and starter units are probably not even gonna be on your team ever again. So you're gonna use those guys, you're gonna go into story, you're probably gonna do all of them on normal. I think you could be able to do them all on normal with epics and rares. You can use like Crocodile. Thinking in perspective, you have 3 slots. So you're gonna be using Crocodile, maybe a farm, Speedwagon, and then a DPS like, I don't know, Kilu's pretty good because he stuns. And you can just do all that. You can do a couple of summons, and then if you do get a legendary, which I'm gonna just assume you get maybe a Goku or Kizaru, which is in my opinion the best legendary, you can use those guys and progress in hard mode of story. And with that, you get a couple of clears. You get like 160 per clear on normal, and then 240 on hard. And after completing that, in my opinion, I'm gonna give you guys the tips, the best people to go for, and the banner, which is gonna be my next thing that I'm gonna be discussing right now. Now, the units you should be summoning for, and we're going based off of Mythics, because besides Mythics, you can get every legendary, rare, epic, no matter the banner, right? So if you're talking about Mythics, this is honestly one of the best banners you could think of. Tengen being one of the best, I'm gonna probably say the best Mythic in the game as of today, because on pre-Evo, he's a cone AoE multi-hit with pretty decent damage, pretty decent range, and his Evo though is where he becomes absolutely amazing. He gets 2 passes where he increases his damage and range, and then also decreases his SPA every time he attacks. And he also gains a dodge buff where he has a 60% chance to dodge, and he becomes full AoE multi-hit. And that is really big for almost every stage you're probably playing in this game and in every anime TD game, because obviously, as you know, full AoE is the whole range of the unit, and they will always be attacking, so it's going to be really good for every stage and every mode. Now, I'm going to go off the top 3 best. The second best mythic in the game is Sun Jinwoo. He has an ability where he summons units on Evos, and his summons are incredibly strong, and they basically help beat bosses. He's a crazy boss killer, and he's just really good all around. He's a pretty good starting unit because on his first attack he has multi-hit. Small circle, but multi-hit is multi-hit for the shields. And then the third best mythic, and in my opinion my favorite mythic in the game, is Vegeta, because he's basically everything in this game. He's a crazy good starting unit, he's a crazy good boss killer, and he's just an all-around beast. Right? If you look at my team, I have Solar on Vegeta, and I have Ethereal on Tengen. Now, if I'm being honest, you don't need these traits on them. I just got extremely lucky to get them, and they worked out in my favor because these two traits are really good on these two individual units. So those are the banner mythics you should be going for. Now, if I'm going to talk about legendaries and you want to use which and which, if you want to do this or that, Kizaru is a really good unit because he attacks really fast and he does multi-hits, which is really good for shields. Now, he and Vegeta are my story mode AFK units. I just place both of them down and they solo any Planetamic story mode, and that's how I get my gems and stuff. As you can see, I have 75k. I'm gonna be going into how to get other materials as well later on. But talking about legendaries, we're gonna be going on Itachi's a really good burn. We've got Pain as a crazy support because he pushes back units. And then, yeah, we got Goku Plaque, who has an ability where he has a 20% chance to execute any enemies in story mode. So only in story mode. But it's still a really good ability slash passive that you could have on your team. Now, we're going on to trait rerolls. Now, if you've played any enemy tower defense games, you know that trait rerolls are the epitome of gambling. And they're either the best thing you'd want to look at right after you get them, or the worst thing. Because if you don't know, if you're new, this is obviously beginner guide, so I'm going to be trying to go into every detail as this is the first time ever playing a game like this. As you can see, you talk to Mater over here. He's on the next, he's right beside collections. If you go, you see evolve and play. He's right in between here. Traits Mater. And I click on him and you see, if you're noob, you'll see like a complete instruction over here. You're going to get one reroll, which you're going to have to save. I'm going to tell you some units you're going to roll on in just a second. As you see, I have 176 rerolls. Now, to be fair, I have been saving a lot. Like a lot, because I'm prepared for the update, I would say. So if we just take a look at the traits, we're gonna go through each trait. Vigor increases damage, range increases range, and swift increases attack speed. All three of these go to 1, 2, and 3, each increasing in their specific, trait. Scholar gives more EXP to units, which is really good if you want to level them up. Marksman gives a lot of range. Fortune is what you would need on money units. Now in the game right now, we have two money units. We have this guy, no idea where he's from, but he's a really good money unit, and you want to get Fortune on because it gives 20% income, which is really good for him. And as well, Speedwagon, 20%. And as you see, they're both golden. If you played Anime Adventures, you would know golden was a true nightmare to people trying to get unique or, etc, etc. And then we go down here, Blitz, which is honestly one of the best. It even competes with Solar and Deadeye as a really good trait. It decreases SPA by 20%, which is really huge. Now, if we go to Solar, Solar right here, plus 10% damage, minus 5 SPA, and then 20% range. It's like a mix between Vigor and Marksman, and a little bit of Swift. It's like all these rainbow traits are going to be obviously better than others, so you could expect that. Solar is a pretty mediocre trait, I'm not going to lie to you. I think it deserves a buff as it's only 0.5% chance, and in most units, I'm not going to lie to you, Blitz is better, which I don't think that should be the case, considering it's obviously a rainbow trait. Now, it's a good trait. I mean, you would consider it on Vegeta, any full AoE units, which is obviously, right now, I'm going to talk about unit types and which units you should just in general go for later on. But for full AoE units, this would be really good because more range, obviously more attack, more SPA, etc, etc. Now we have Deadeye. I got my ignorance, I have Deadeye. 45% crit chance, 50% crit damage. Now, if I'm being honest with you, every unit that has this is going to have an advantage. Because 45% chance, you're basically critting a little less than half of the time, which is huge. And for a unit that like Shaheen, if you don't know, I'm going to explain her passive really quick. A really good mythic that I didn't explain, but it's kind of outdated, but also really underrated. Crit rate plus 20%, crit damage plus 50%, and crit rate plus 15 when attacking a boss. As you can see, these two correspond really well together because obviously you add crit chance and damage to an already built-in crit chance and crit damage unit. They're both gonna perform exceptionally well, and it's just gonna go crazy. Am I right? That's Deadeye. Now we have Ethereal, which I'm not gonna lie, the Demon Slayer update was crazy because I got a shiny Akaza, and then I got Ethereal on him in like 15 rerolls, and then I also pulled Ethereal on Tengen. So Ethereal was kind of my trait on the Demon Slayer update, And as you can see, Ethereal is one of the best traits for honestly most units. 20% damage, 20% SPA, and 5% range. Now, this is really good because it takes the best out of Blitz, it takes the best out of Vigor, and it takes a little bit out of range. If I'm being honest, range is probably the worst stat on a unit because it doesn't really increase DPS that much. It's just a good addition for, you know, more area of attack, you know, you can hit farther, but it's not the biggest deal compared to damage and SPA. Now, Ethereal is honestly really good for 3 placement units, 4 placement units, and 5 placement, just high placement units like Tengen or Akaza or etc., because the more you place, the DPS is obviously going to be overall higher. Now, I don't have a Monarch unit, right? But I can tell you the stats right now, and I can even put it up on screen right now if I could. It gives a 300% damage boost, and it also, I think, decreases your SPA by 10, and then also increases your range by 5. But it only limits your placement to 1. Now, you can look at the damage, 300%. My God, I'm gonna be hitting like a truck. You are, but the thing about Monarch is, if you get in on like a unit like Akaza, right, where he's 4 placement, he's gonna be doing less overall max DPS with Monarch than he would be doing with Ethereal. But the thing about Monarch that makes it truly good in almost every game mode is that you're not really gonna be maxing out every Akaza or every Tengen in a raid or a story mode, right? Monarch just does that crazy damage off placement, off a couple upgrades, and it just carries you throughout the game. Now, if we're going to do infinite runs, which are really not that important in the game right now, infinites are not going to be really that important if you're a beginner in general, because you're really not going to need them. But yeah, Monarch is just really busted. So I need to know, if you get it on any unit, don't spin it off. Don't spin it off. It's really good. Just know that it's not the best you could use for any units, DPS wise, but in general, it's a very, very good trait. Now I'm going to speed this up because I do not want this video to be even longer than it already is probably. We're going to go on to the next thing that you should be looking out for, and it's going to be a couple of the HUD things right here, right? First thing we're going to look at, store. If you're going to buy any of these things, I would recommend buying the permanent things. The permanent game passes like VIP, right? In my opinion, I think VIP is the only thing worth getting in this game. And I'm not trying to be on you guys to get something that I feel like you're going to regret, because spending 800 Robux for the premium pass, which I'm not going to lie, gives a lot of really good rewards. But the bad thing is, it's going to go away, right? With VIP, it's always there for you. You're always going to have that 20% off summons. You're always going to have the, you know, 10% XP earned, which is going to be really good for if you're starting off, because that 10% is going to go a long way. So if I were you, I would just recommend buying the VIP. You could buy the release bundle, as it's really good for a beginner. It gives 40 essence, which is very important. We're going to go into that later. But in general, if I were you, I would just buy the VIP and I would just stick to that. Now the next thing, we're going to go into achievements. Now, achievements is where you're honestly going to be getting most of your rerolls, beside the pass and quests, and maybe even codes, if there are any. As you can see, I've completed every achievement, right? I'm gonna just skim through this because there's a lot. For Trouble on Planet Namek, you have to complete every act on Nightmare to get in total 11 rerolls, or no, my bad, 8 rerolls, and 1,000 gems, an emote, and a mount. Raid on Sand Village, you get 11 rerolls, 1,000 gems, and the Ric Flair emote with another mount. Disaster in Double Dungeon, you're gonna be getting another 6 rerolls from here. You're gonna be another 5 from the completion. You're gonna be getting 1,000 rerolls, another emote, and another mount. Now that in total, I think gives around, let me do the quick math in my head, 11, 8, around 27 or 6, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's right. I don't know. Collector, you're gonna be getting this like just randomly. Honestly, I'm not gonna cap. I don't even know how I got this. You just summon. You see, yeah, summon own 10 different news. You can honestly get this with a couple codes, and then you're cooking. And yeah, you get 5 rerolls, 10,000 gold, 2,000 gems, and another emote. Now Paragon. If I'm talking about beginner, we're not really gonna go through this, right? Paragon is mainly a mid to end game thing, so I'm not gonna bother you guys with that. And this as well. This is not even a thing anymore. But yeah, raids as well. I'm gonna go into that maybe in another video where it's like a mid to late game progression video. Now we go daily rewards. You can just claim gems every time you log into the game, etc., etc. The pass right here. Now, the main important things in this pass are gems, rerolls, and the level 30 unit Haruka Ren, right? This unit right here is a really good support. Let me just bring up my quality. Oh, it is max. Okay, never mind. Now, this unit is a really good support as it buffs your range and damage when evo. Now you place her down, it takes around 6 waves to activate both. I'm gonna just look into her passive real quick so I don't confuse all of y'all. Here, right. So I think this is the one pre-evo. You get this pre-evo, you just get her, you unlock this. Damage plus 3% per wave for all units in range, maxing out at 18%. And then once you evo her, she gets encore. Once 6 waves pass, from placement, range plus 10% for all units in range. Now she's just a really good support in general. There's not enough hard content in this game for you to actually bring her on your team and like need her to like complete a match. So I would just recommend having her because in later stages it's gonna get harder and you're gonna need her. So I'd recommend grinding for the battle pass and getting all of this stuff because it's gonna go away. We're probably gonna get a new one soon. As you can see, 2 days. Probably when the update is dropping by the time I'm recording this. But yeah. That's the HUD and everything you should know when you get into the game and look on the screen. We want to look at essence stones and what you need to craft these because before we get into here, we have to go with here. So we go to items, we go to materials. As you can see, there are 7 different types of essence stones. We have green, we have yellow, pink, red, rainbow, blue, and purple. Now, green is basically the blueprint to getting every one of these if you're going to craft them. Now, you can get all these types of essence stones if you go to challenge. And let's just look at the ones we have on right now. Yeah, so you can see we have a trait crystal. We have a trait reroll challenge right now where it gives 2 essence stones, greens, and it gives a reroll. And then the dailies is really good, but you have to be a little, you have to have like an Evo Mythic, as I said before, to like be able to do this. It took me an Evo Sungeon to be able to complete this, but I think you just need like a Vegeta Evo and a couple farms. I think you should be set. But as you can see, it gives a rainbow. It gives 1 of every essence, and then it also gives rerolls, stat chips, etc. Now, the way that you would want to farm these, and you want to grind these without having to wait for challenges every 30 minutes or every day for the daily, is you would want to go here to story. You go down to legend stage right here. You have 2 legend stages as of right now. And all of these acts give green essence, right? And these green essences, as I said, will be able to be crafted into, the yellow, the pink, the red, etc. Now, as you can see, there is a maximum capacity to each one of these, 25, 50, 100. Now, the way you would want to be able to farm this, because you're asking yourself, okay, how would I farm this if there's a cap, right? You would want to get 100, or before you want to go AFK overnight, you want to spend all of your green essence on each individual essence that you don't have, your legendary essences. And you want to spend them equally to the point where you have enough for each Evo. You want to check them out, who you want to Evo, etc., etc. You go in AFK, right? You wake up and then you keep crafting to the point where you max out your legendary essence and your rainbow essence, and then all you have is your green, which you can just AFK that one more time, and then you're basically set, maxed out. You can Evo every unit at that point. Well, not every unit, but you have enough materials to Evo any unit you want, maybe once or twice. You obviously have to keep doing this because you want to Evo every unit, or you want to Evo this unit or that. More units are going to come out, you're going to need more essence, depending on what updates come out. Now, we go to Evos. I've Evoed a lot of units, right? So I don't have every unit to show you to Evo, but if we go here, I'm going to go on green essence because every unit needs it. You can see, every unit needs green essence. Now, not every unit is gonna need yellow. Not every unit is gonna need red. Not every unit is gonna need blue. Same with pink and purple. Every unit is gonna need rainbow and green. That's why you have to get all of these, because you're probably gonna run out of the blues faster than you're gonna run out of reds. Same goes with the reds with yellow, yellow with pink, pink with purple, etc. Now, if I was gonna recommend any unit to evo first, in my opinion, I would go with Tengen or Vegeta. Now, if you're struggling so bad to the point where you can't defeat a boss, your early game units are absolute dookie, you go for Vegeta. Vegeta is easily the best starter unit in the game right now. I don't know if there's going to be a new one that comes out next update, but right now he's the best. Go for him. He's super easy to get. All you need is Senzu beans, which you just get randomly from Story and Legend Stages, or no, not Legend Stages, but Story, Paragon maybe, but we're not talking about Paragon right now. And then if you don't have trouble with that, or you already evoed him and you want to go for the next guy, Tengen, easily. Tengen is super good, right? Tengen is just really good. Now this is step-by-step through for beginners, right? So I'm telling you, get your gems, right? Get your legend stage, get your essences, and then come evo him if you have trouble with the early stage. If you have like someone like Kizaru and Crop to slow down and he just takes him out, go for Tengen. But then after that, these two, I don't care which order you go, get both of these guys immediately if you're starting out. Because I promise you, this is my team for basically everything in the game. I can solo everything in this game with just this team, right? And if I were you, I'd do this, right? If your favorite unit is Obito, or something, if your favorite like character in anime is like Obito or something, get them, right? But you're trying to get good at this game, this is a beginner guide. I'm trying to explain to y'all and teach y'all how to get good at this game quick before update comes out. And I'd say get these two before you want to evo your favorite unit or favorite character in anime. And after that, it's all up to you, because in my opinion, you're going to have to evo every unit eventually for your collection. So if you just want to progress faster, get those two first, and then, you know, go for whoever you want after that. Now, to conclude this video, if you're gonna go step one to step whatever, I'm gonna just simplify this if you guys want to skip to this, I don't even know. You first go complete every story on normal. Every stage, every act. Then you go summon. Try to get a mythic, try to get a good legendary. Kizaru, Itachi, Pain, Goku Black, etc. Then you want to try going to the farthest you can go to in story, every stage on Nightmare. You do that, then you want to summon. If God forbid your luck is absolute trash and you can't get no mythic, then use your units that you got, AFK story. AFK story enough till you get pity. Wait until Vegeta or Tengen are on banner, and then just run it up, right? After that, you want to do your quests, you want to do your achievements, claim them all. Then you're gonna want to get farms, you want to level up, you want to do that. And then you're gonna want to spend traits on Vegeta, you want to spend traits on Tengen. You wouldn't want to spend traits on your farms just yet, because you have much more important things to roll on that are going to impact you much more than just having golden or fortune on your farms, right? After that, you go and grind essence stones. You know, you go out and grind essence stones, you get enough to evo a Tengen or a Vegeta, you go evo them, then you can start going to challenges. And with challenges, you're going to be doing essence stone grinding, you're going to be doing your dailies, getting even more rerolls, getting even more stat chips. And that's going to help you a lot more in later stages of the game. Mid to end game, you're going to be chilling. You're going to have more time to just do different things. You're not going to be asking people on Discord, yo, I suck, help me. And, you know, it's just going to be, like, worthless. Yeah, as a beginner guide, those are the things that I'd recommend doing, kind of speed ran that at the end. But, yeah, take care of yourselves. Peace.